Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the ESL 1 Road to Rio. We are here for Winstrike against Nemiga on the B stream. Some CIS matchups on your screen. My name is Hawker, joined by Dean. All the rhymes coming through. Dean, how you doing?
I am doing good, and apparently so are the players. We're right into the matchup. We had contact immediately being taken on mid, I think, before we could even actually get into the matchup. I myself am currently lacking the X-ray, but we have seen a couple of kills coming in, and pretty much all of them now actually beginning to go in favor of Winstrike. Lucky even being given time here to line this one up, somehow struggling with it. A little bit of a chance being given over to Speedak, but in the end with that flank from Hobbit, nothing really that he can do. I've got to fix my settings here. I did mess up a small bit. That was a quick round though. We were trying to get in, and before we could make it, already the whole mid control had been taken over by the T side. Just didn't really work out for them in the end.
Even with those whiff shots from Lackey at the back of the bomb site, it was all right. Or was it Elian at the back of the bomb site? I don't even remember. But one of them was.
I believe it was Lackey there in the end, anyway.
Yeah, it still didn't even matter because Nemiga just kind of got shut out before that point. So good stuff from Winstrike to start things off here on Vertigo. And this is the map pick of Nemiga, but it's definitely a map that Winstrike have been good on. They've in fact picked it themselves in the previous series. So this has got to be a bit scary for Nemiga. Right from the get-go, it's a clean-up in the second round as well, making it look easy as Winstrike take the 2-0 lead. And here come the AKs for Nemiga.
And I am officially all good. Have my X-ray on. I can actually see what's happening now on the screen. Unfortunately, the way we have our observer, me and Mitch had this issue the other day, so we had to start using commands to turn it on at the beginning of every map. And despite me telling you, I somehow forgot myself.
At least I got it. Yeah, that's
the main one. As long as it was seen on stream.
Exactly.
Ooh, I believe that's going to be a deep ramp smoke there, potentially. Indeed, going down, so we are going to see Winstrike pushing. Obviously, with the way Vertigo is now down towards the bottom, if you can get this aggressive control, you don't really have to worry about as much. You can actually hold it a little bit more easy, only having the right side, where obviously the T's can come from once you do get out of that bottom area. Right now, not getting too aggressive. They've got that opening kill already, so I think they're okay with kind of slowing things down. Especially with Bondig now just sitting up close, so this kind of really limits Nemiga from being able to find any sort of map control early on in this round, and you even see Lackey still aggressing around B. They are not shying away from this round at all right now. Unfortunately, that means Bondig will eventually go down to Speedak. Lackey this time not against the player with just a Glock, so he is going to definitely need to connect his shots. MDS having creeped in. This Wood here is an interesting addition for sure. MDS using the right now to elevate himself. He definitely knows this player is close.
Ooh, okay. Lackey gets the shot with the UMP. I thought MDS was going to spot the shadow there, but the information goes against him on the edge of the smoke. And now the last two AKs are going to try and move into the B-bomb site. It's not going to happen for them, though. Lackey had retrieved that AK previously. He gets away with both the kills. A solid B-site hole coming in from Winstrike. Lackey being the MVP of that round. And a really good start to this game for the Winstrike team here on this CT side. Nemiga haven't really come close in these first 3 rounds, and in round 4, they've only got pistols once again. So this is not exactly the start Nemiga were looking for, and I was a bit worried when they picked this Vertigo, because this is, again, a map that Winstrike really like to play. Winstrike pick it themselves sometimes, so picking it here feels like a bit of a risk for Nemiga, and it's already started a bit slow for them.
Especially with Dust 2 up next, I think that's another one that does look really good for Winstrike. Obviously, it is their map, and you would expect that. It is somewhat a map that Nemiga can't play, but I definitely would be favoring the devices on Winstrike. Up against this Eco right now, I mean, having relatively easy time. Okay, Lollipop trying to at least put some damage through. That's actually the second kill they've found of this round. It doesn't look like it's going to amount to a lot else. Yeah, we're seeing... I like that Winstrike are taking this so aggressive early on. As you said, it is the map choice in Nemiga, but we know that they're more than capable of playing it. So Winstrike, they just want to come straight in, firing, and make Nemiga realize, oh, you might have made a mistake actually picking this map against us. If MDS can get one more, I would say this round is definitely worthwhile. Good catch, Lackey. Oh, no, unfortunately not. Nearly had the angle for himself. Ends up going down. Not too bad. 2 kills, not the end of the world. A bit of reinvestment, obviously, having to come in for Winstrike. They actually have the op then coming out, I believe, being dropped over there. So, yeah, I mean, having a little bit of money left over. Now coming back onto the full buy once again. Nemiga, they'll be looking to try and finally bounce back. They have the op this time. They have all the utility they could want. And ideally need to get themselves a little bit out of that map control early on. Obviously, the issue previously being that we've seen the CTs aggress over towards ramp. And despite only being able to get one trade rather on that Nemiga side, they had to kind of give it up. And we've seen them then trying to push towards B, where already Winstrike were set up. And again, it doesn't really look like Winstrike are going to let up on that W key.
these aggressive fights. Hello. Damage done to Box. He is alive for the time being, but he's forced away by the flames. So Winstrike have really made Nemiga's life difficult there, pushing the A ramp. Bondic did take some damage on the CT side as well, though. So it's not going to be scot-free for Winstrike, but this time round, Nemiga seem to have weathered the early storm of the aggression in this slow start to the round. We'll see what they decide to do as the round progresses.
Position from Alien, though. He has a good position where he'd be able to, of course, help over towards B as well as mid if the assistance is called for. Waiting for that jump up and actually, okay, does find the boost coming over the box. Lollipop tries to elevate himself, immediately gets dropped. It seemed like the read was definitely had there somehow. And yeah, now having tried to vie for a little bit of that mid control, see if they could set themselves up for this split, I think at this point, kind of forced to give up on it, set themselves up now and try and bring it back towards A with just 40 seconds remaining. And look at this from Hobbit. Pushed up around the smoke, has support as well. No one's watching this right now. As I say that though, trying to get aggressive. Bondic goes down. Hobbit gets caught on the other side of the smoke, trying to replenish it. And suddenly, actually, we do see a man advantage for Nemiga. Moving forward onto this bomb site, it's Kristen who has a lot of pressure on his shoulders to try and at least get one kill and potentially delay this push, which is still happening. I mean, 15 seconds, they're yet to get this bomb down. One Molotov in play that goes in. It's not going to stop the bomb plant. So we will see MDS getting that put in place, and it is now the 4-on-3 after plant. No more utility at all, not even a flash or anything.
Not looking great. Wow, okay. Elian just lines up the wall bang. That's absurd. And the bomb's being defused.
No idea.
They're not stopping it. Oh. Okay, they have eventually, but Krisen comes in with a trade. Nemiga not having the best of times here. JYO, the last man standing, has to try and get this man off the bomb. And Elian misses the shot. Krisen goes down. Good work from JYO to get both those kills. That was a valiant effort from Winstrike, though. That wall bang was ridiculous. That's what got them into the retake in the first place and brought them so close, but JYO dashes their hopes and dreams.
I think that was Lackey sticking the bomb. He was incredibly close to that right there. There was one player up close who eventually stopped it, but I think he was within a second off of that defuse. It was a nice effort. I didn't think he'd get anywhere that close to getting the defuse in that position. With the smoke being down, he was still pretty easily spammable. But yeah, I mean, again, the buy at least able to come back in from Winstrike. Obviously, that was their first round that they had dropped. The damage from that round before definitely helps out Nemiga here have a chance where they can break that economy early on their CT side. They start grinding back a few rounds of their own here. That nade, I don't think going to be connecting. Nah, nothing really doing any damage. So for the moment, I mean, no contact going to be taken. Interesting position, though. Lackey up behind that wood, obviously being spammable, so if he does get spotted, at that point he is kind of screwed, and there we go, pops up, not going to matter about the wood, instead the head is taken off. A nice angle there for MDS, he did spot Krisen, but wasn't able to connect himself instead. It will be his teammates who come in and clean up. 1-for-1 trades is going to be plenty for the T side in this position. They're happy now as they move on towards that bomb site, and I think already we may have seen the CTs deciding that they don't want a lot to do with this. Alien's still over towards A, but we are seeing for now Bondic moving in. And he goes down, so definitely the save has to be called for now. There's really no debating.
Yeah, Bondic had to be the last stand there on the B bomb site because he rotated in somewhat in time, but Nemiga were already on the site. Not the best position for him to be in, and Elian's actually hanging around, seeing if maybe he can get something here. I assume he's looking for exit kills more than anything else, because the round win is not looking too likely. Again, though, just well traded by Nemiga onto the B site, using a bit of early utility, not setting up an execute, just kind of going off the trades. Once they get those kills, they're happy to pretty quickly hit the B site. I think they had 1 or 2 nades also joining. They had a Molotov and a smoke, which ended up helping them get onto the bomb site. That it really just came down to the trades there. So good work from Nemiga. They get some success on the B side of the map. And now we get to see what the decision-making is going to be like for Winstrike in this round. They should probably be saving across the board here. At least Elian saved the one gun over, but the rest of the team are not looking too good in terms of money. They're actually going to go for the force buy, though. Their money's so bad, they've decided they're just going to force up into this round. It's not going to be great, but they're just going to have to deal with it.
This is why I was really surprised that they didn't just back Bondic away when they had the 2 players still alive. At that point, they would have had an M4. You see Bondic got himself a mass, so he could have dropped over a little bit. But maybe they can still make this one work. We're seeing a very quick play right now coming into Nemiga. Bondic, despite only having the FAMAS, gets the opening kill and then follows up with the spam onto Jayo. That is not the first player from Nemiga we've seen being spammed down through that already. It doesn't seem like it being metal is really changing things all that much. And more damage being exchanged. Bondic came out a lot better than I thought he was going to do. It looked like that AK was spamming him away. Even hits MDS a small bit more. I am slightly afraid here that Hobbit's getting aggressive. As I said, though, another smoke goes down. Because we did actually see MDS, I believe, playing around the edge of that. He is the bomb right now, so he needs to be careful. Even being spammed again. That forces him forward. That's the bomb for Hobbit alongside an AK. He's like, thank you. Gifted it into his hobba hole.
Ooh, well, okay. Speedax got a no-scope up close and a second shot. So all of a sudden, Nemiga might have saved things slightly here with Speedax getting a couple of kills back. Hobbit has been dealt with, as has Bondic, so they'll finally be safe on the other side of that wall. They won't get spammed anymore. Elian up close with the AWP, gets a kill of his own, and Lollipop follows his teammate to the grave. Good kills from Elian with the AWP, but that was all about Bondic. I don't know how he dished out so much damage through that wall with the FAMAS of all weapons.
I don't know, man. Wasn't expecting that. As I said, it didn't seem like it was affecting the wallbang damage all that much. I think we've seen the AKs even spamming away from the T side and not being able to find the kill, and then he's just like, the FAMAS is plenty. What is on about? Bondic doesn't need anything better. He has an AK now. That's definitely going to help. We are having a small technical pause at the moment. I couldn't tell you what it is because it's in Russian or whatever. Okay, Lucky is lagging. Sorry. That is what we've been told now by Bondic. I'll have a look, see if it's like a ping issue or whatever. It's not as ping, so I'm not sure exactly what, but it seems like it's gone. Maybe it was just a little bit of loss or something along those lines. You don't want people to be playing on lag, of course, especially in such an important game. Understandable that they would call a quick pause until that's resolved. But we're right back into it anyway. A Mac 10 here being the main weakness for the T side buy. But even then, you see the MP9 for Hobbit, so it kind of does even out a little bit. It's more so the fact that Nemiga probably don't have as many nades as they would like to. As you can see, certainly lacking, what, 3 smokes left at this point, a couple mollies, just a couple flashes.
Not optimal for either team here, but JYO flies through the smoke with the Mac 10. That is a nice way to start the round. Hobbit's playing off the back of these smokes, though, and he's got one in reply. So it's a 1-for-1 trade. However, Nemiga are there to trade onto Hobbit. He's not got enough assistance there with the MP9. Nemiga come away with the early fights in their favor. No utility left for them right now, though, so they can't execute onto the A-bomb site. It's really all about the trade game in this round for Nemiga.
Which is why having this 4-on-3 start is so incredible for them, especially with so much time left on the clock. Because of that, they can afford to slow it down a little bit, maybe even reapproach back towards that B-bomb site if they want to. For now, though, leaving, I believe, one man around the ramp, just being Lollipop. Everyone else going to begin to make their way, indeed, back over towards the B steps. And now it is Lackey over towards that B-bomb site himself. It seems like they do have a bit of a read, though, because immediately the op has begun to rotate back around to help as well. So they are going to have a relatively decent setup on this side of the map once the push comes in. And as I said, with one still lurking elsewhere, it's not going to be all 4 players that are pushing in together either. So they are going to have to try and deal with this crossfire. Not going to be an easy task, especially with the op being the first line of contact here. See Alien creeping into the angle, immediately gets domed. They may not expect Lackey to be hiding in the back, but the flash actually blinds them up. Only getting one off the back of it. It's a tough spot to be in for sure, and Prison, $0 in the bank. I was going to say, I don't expect him to move in. Even then, though, he would have been flanked out by Lollipop, so that was a pretty tough spot to be in. And the Nemiga, they bounce back with a very important gun round for themselves. Look at the money now for Winstrike. Double eco onto one player. Hobbit's pretty much double eco as well, because he'd have 3,900 next round, so it's a tough spot to be in. Just a couple flashes coming out. One flash and one smoke, rather.
And Nemiga are finally dealing with that early aggression from Winstrike. Early in this round, they're the ones who are getting the advantage now, and that's making a huge difference for them. Just makes it so much easier to trade it out onto the B site once they eventually decide to commit. And in this round, Nemiga are going to be lining up some nades. I think that's a smoke that Speedax lining up for CT over on B, but they don't even need the utility because the B site is completely clear. They've made the right read in this round, and the full save from Winstrike is not looking too good right now.
No, not at all. Trying to rush in behind, finding that all of the rifles, or at least most of them right now, watching. One man who wasn't was Lollipop, but he's ready to flank in from behind. Ooh, Elian may catch him off guard nearly. But Yeah, I mean, the issue there with that one is that they still don't really have enough to buy on a couple of the players coming into this round, as I mentioned. They had Crizzen looking at a double eco. Hobbit was just a little bit too short here. I mean, he could maybe pull out the rifle and the Kevlar, of course, for himself. But if they want the nades, definitely that's not going to be an option alongside the M4. So we'll see what he goes for now. There we go. FAMAS, so kind of middle ground. Able to get a few nades out behind it. They have one MP9 on Crizzen. Again, though, not that strong of a buy. They also don't have a fuse kit if it does come down to a position, of course, where they're having to retake. So this is going to be very difficult. And Crizzen being pushed down straight away on mid. Blinded up, kept in that corner exposed. And easily dropped by Lollipop and Speedak as they come around the corner. Full mid control pretty much being found at this point. Hobbit's playing a relatively passive. This is a good spot, though. He's more so just waiting to see if anyone tries to wrap over. And will spot Jo. There we go. The Molotov forces him into his crosser pretty much.
Ooh, well, Hobbit is traded out eventually. And that means that Nemiga have got that B site pretty easily. Bondit gets one back, but I don't think Winstrike are really looking to retake here. This time, they have learned their lesson, perhaps. Although Elian's got another kill, there is a fair amount of time left on the bomb, but even then, it's difficult to clear out this B site from the positions they're currently in. It would have to be very, very quick from them. So they've decided they're probably better off saving, especially without the kit. Elian and Bondit will look to carry over these two guns into the next round. And Nemiga have really turned this round here on their T side, just winning a bunch of the opening fights now in these rounds, which is then just allowing them to make the most of Winstrike's rotations. They're then finding the weaknesses in the defense once they get that opening pick. And the same goes again for them in this round. They've tied it up 5-5 on the scoreline.
Yeah, looking to really stabilize things. They definitely have done so over the past few rounds. Again, with this investment out as well from Winstrike, I mean, never really... Have we seen them having a proper full buy where they haven't had at least one weaker weapon so far? I think they have mostly been bringing out an SMG or so on one play. Normally still having quite a bit of effect, but yeah, I mean, this round is so important right now for Winstrike because they obviously, as you said, have fully invested into this, relying on being able to take themselves to the win here, get back into the lead. But already we've seen that opening kill come in. Again, that ramp aggression being attempted by the CT side. This time, I believe, though, just being Hobbit who went forward. So, unfortunately, being on his own, there's zero chance for a trade to come back in there from anyone else on his team. So, a solid advantage. Good thing is that they have Lackey pushed down on B. So, that gives them a lot of kind of info to work with. It lets them stack up a little bit more on that A side of the map.
That Molotov forces Bondik into the open. He might be in trouble, but he's the one that gets the kill. JYO was solo pushing through that smoke, hoping the nades would help him, and Bondik almost gets a lineup. Boxstead just about picking up the trade, and he gets another kill onto the bomb site. That should give them a bit of breathing room to get this bomb planted now. And with Nemiga having the man advantage, they've got to be feeling good about this. Again, it's another difficult Winstrike retake, and one that I'm not sure they're going to be too likely to win. Lackey's trying to close the distance with the FAMAS, looking for the fight, but Speedak backs away, and Speedak is going to be dealt with. Lackey now moving in from this position, but they know exactly where he's coming from. He still gets traded, and Elian into the 1v1. AWP in hand, spots the player, but he doesn't pull the trigger. Close range with the AWP, has to try the quick scope, and MDS is going to come away with the clutch. Nemiga into the lead after a slow start in this game. They're the ones who have taken over as it's gone on.
And this is their map choice, so ideally this is what they need, especially with Dust 2 coming up next. I mean, Dust 2 is always a bit of a wildcard map. If they're feeling good after getting a victory here on Vertigo, then I do think that would be a really good sign for them. Could put them in a pretty good position. Dust 2 on paper should be a tough map for them. And if it gets the nuke, that's one that I think would be actually quite competitive between these two. We tend to see Winstrike have a few good results on an Nemiga and just like to play nuke a lot. It's one of their favorite maps, definitely up there. But yeah, I mean, another force buy. What is this? Why are we not seeing them willing to take a single eco?
Yeah, that is curious. I guess Vertigo is one of the maps where the close range guns can be powerful, but even then, you've got to think at some point.
An M4 is still better at that range.
Exactly. At some point, you got to think that, okay, maybe the weak guns aren't working for us. Elian's got this flank, but it's being watched by MDS. And so Nemiga have now got a clean two-man advantage in this round. Plenty of nades left. Winstrike are going to have to make some magic happen to win this one.
gone. Bondit could potentially catch one off guard. The issue is J.O.'s also watching for this position, and yeah, he doesn't see at all. The head just barely popping up. Crizzen is the next man to try and peek in. He goes down. And yeah, that just leaves Lackey at this point. I believe he's rotating into the spawn right now, yeah. See him making his way into the back lines right there. Not really going to be able to do anything, considering there's a bit of money here on the CT side. In theory, they could try and deny him from being able to save that weapon over. But I think considering they know these force buys have been coming in and Winstrike are working with limited weapons already, they ideally just don't want to go anywhere. They don't really want to be given any sort of a chance for an AK to be retrieved by Lackey. I believe we are going to see a tactical pause being called for after this one. I see Hooch typing it. So we should have a little bit of a discussion coming in from Winstrike, and with that, I would imagine they'll decide, yeah, maybe we get a few pistols behind this FAMAS, but I don't think we should force again. Give over the, at that point, probably going to have to be 8 rounds to Nemiga and then try and pull back the final 2.5. I think it was, they were trying to keep the pressure on because they had been doing a pretty considerable amount of damage. But even then, I mean, as we could see, the economy was pretty decent because of that round a little bit further back where they did survive with 5, and the one before that where they lived with 3, and then obviously surviving with 5 now as well, so they're definitely good for the half. But there's that tactical pause I said was coming.
It is about time they took this tactical timeout with how these rounds have been panning out for them. They'll get a bit of time to chat about what they want to buy into this upcoming round as well. We're expecting it to finally be a low buy from them, especially with Bondic having bought that CZ and Kevlar. Hobbit doing the same. It looks like they are going to save a bit of money this time round, so that's something for Winstrike. But they've lost, I think, what, 5 rounds in a row at least here. It's been going heavily against them in these recent rounds. And as soon as they started getting caught on their early aggressions, it's felt like the fallback hasn't really been there. The plan B hasn't really been there. They haven't adapted quickly enough. Maybe this is a chance for them to adapt in this round. 13 coming up, and it is just the pistols bought by Winstrike. So finally, it's a save, Dean.
Woo! But it doesn't make sense because I thought they would have went for like a half buy in the last round and then had a full buy here. But whatever. It is at least finally going to be a position in this next round where they will have pretty much everything they want. And we've seen them obviously early in the half. They were really enjoying that ramp aggression. They were like challenging in towards B. It seems like kind of once that has stopped working out, they're not really 100% sure about what to do. At least they don't have any other sort of play styles that can give them those early openings, I guess is the way to put it. Because at the moment, Nemiga have just been kind of running the time down, waiting for mistakes to be made. And with that picking off Winstrike, this round again, not expecting a lot. Still having this one FAMAS on Lackey over towards B. Certainly could do some damage. We've seen a smoke and a molly going down, and I think that's kind of made the T shy away from this a little bit. Yeah, beginning to move back. At this point, also having to worry that they could have been, in theory, pushed down through that A ramp. And I mean, going back at this point is definitely the correct decision because as we see, those 4 CTs have actually stacked up on B. So if they had gone into that despite it not being the full weapons, that still would have been very dangerous for them.
Ooh, this rotate is coming into play here. Winstrike have got the right positioning in time. Nemiga should have plenty of nades to help them get onto this A site, though. Nades already being used up. A couple of players sitting here, but Nemiga are running back to B. Very low time on the clock. They have to make steps doing this, but they should be safe to do so. They should get the timing right. I think they will beat the rotate of Winstrike here as they arrive on the B bomb site. This was a bit of a risk from them, but it's worked out. They are on a clear, open B bomb site. And in come the trades. A couple of kills for the CTs. Bondic with 2 on the CZ. Box gets run down. And JYO doesn't have time to get the kills. Winstrike win based off time. Even though JYO gets those frags at the end there. That's the risk of going back to B. If you don't get that bomb down safely, you're in trouble.
Nice jinx, Alex. Second you said it was all good, we just seen loads of kills come in for Winstrike. It's a slight jinx on them, but yeah, I mean, that's a good way to get back in. They'd been struggling for ages. They do it with the weaker weapons. It gives them everything they need in this round. I mean, right now they have a double up setup, and that was despite everyone falling, of course. Winning that round out just helped them a little bit because they hadn't actually invested everything. So now they're looking pretty good. If they can pull this back to 8 rounds on their CT side, I think they'll be feeling pretty comfortable, especially with this being the map choice of Nemiga. But obviously, back on the weapons here, Nemiga, they have enough to buy pretty much for the rest of the half. We're going to have to see Winstrike keep that up now that they actually have the proper weaponry. That's one thing you see a lot of the time when the weaker weapons in play, feeling a little bit more fearless and such. That peak, though, from one of the CTs, I'm not sure who exactly it was able to do a good bit of damage on the lollipop. Was through the corner of the box, so he fortunately survives on 70 for now. But now they posted the op on this angle. I was going to say probably not to be expected. They do manage to go ahead and throw a flash in anyway, just to make sure he's not going to be catching anyone off guard. So this round, I mean, for Nemiga, just slowly working out for this mid control. We only seen this a little bit earlier in the half, and I believe then was when Elian got himself that pick with the op. So going back to it now, after losing one round, restricting the CTs from really being able to get a lot of info, of course, and giving themselves the options if they want to split towards really either bomb site. Molotov's going in instead of smokes, though. A little bit dangerous. It does force that op out of position once again. Oh, immediately setting themselves up now, I believe, to split in towards B. The flash did blind Prison, but they didn't clear out the corner, so he's given time to compose himself. Actually finds the second kill as well. How the hell is he allowed to do that? That's the bomb now being dropped a little bit more aggressive in the bomb site, meaning it is going to take them that bit of extra time to go ahead and retrieve it.
20 seconds. Oh, Bondik's on this flank. Again, the timing to deny the bomb. Bondik gets both headshots in quick succession. Well taken by Bondik on the flank. And yeah, Krisen should not have got away with 2 kills from that position, but somehow he did. Somehow they don't hunt him down in time. And that makes a huge difference because then Nemiga are slowed down considerably. Bondik's got time to get that flank going. And Winstrike get a 7th round win on the board. So looking like we're going to have a close half on our hands here. Winstrike at least coming away with a couple of rounds towards the end of this half. And we'll see if that trend is set to continue into the last round of this first half.
Oh, Box though, catching that aggression. Bondik's still pushing up around the scaffolding right now. Probably not going to be expected. Oh, I think he may have been spotted there around the edge of the smoke. Yeah, apparently was. Speedak follows up with another shot. That's open for a second anyway, if they were to commit quickly off it. Excuse me, and hiccups a tiny bit. Yeah, Krisen though has now rotated in. The issue is having an MP9, he can't really hold that range, so he's kind of more opting on getting himself into a close position and will just about be allowed to do so. Speedak holding just around this corner as well if he decides he wants to take the peek. It could be a small issue. Wins out the duel with the MP9 and realizes, okay, that's probably more than I'm really going to be allowed to get with this MP9. May have to slow it down for a moment, but realizing no one tried to actually follow up that peek, he is going forward. Could potentially catch one more player, maybe even get some weapons to be upgraded afterwards because of it. No one's watching for that. Why? There's 3 of them around there. And that's the bomb.
Oh no, Elian's just sniping them down. One by one, they all go into the arms of the AWPer. Box trying to fight from the other side, but Elian gets all the kills needed, and Winstrike edge out the half, 8-7. That last round not looking too clean from Nemiga, but it's still anyone's game here. An 8-7 half is absolutely doable for either team, and we'll see how it plays out in the second half after the break.
moving through the city like it's Gotham. They told me get one, so I got one. Stop saying you're a boss when you're not one. You ain't sacrificed, nah, you ain't lost none. All over the gram like you got a bag. You ain't big dog, we ain't hear none of that. I'm in the gym looking like a running back. And you know the flow, got him coming back. Who I was in the past, I'm unattached. Only focus in this moment is bringing the summer back. Oh, respect my grind, elevate souls, and I spread good vibes. Young divine, you know I gotta shine. Raise your hands for a good time.
Sleep until the noon. You said that you want it, so I got it for you. Let's all get together and show them how we move. We move, we move.
3, 2,
Bringing
1,
summer to
drop.
you.
Oh, ready, let's go. 'Cause you know how we roll. Let's take it round the world and back again. Ready, let's go. 'Cause you know, like I know, we'll take it round and round. Yo, hold up, let me switch my flow up. Back in high school, they were telling me I'll blow up. Doing talent shows and man, everyone will show up. Got in an accident and still made it for them to go nuts. You know what? I'm so so what? I'm so That means I can't describe the way I vibe, the way I slide, and with the rhymes that make the dimes. I'll close their eyes and fantasize. Young divine calling their phone number. Yeah. No, you know I love it. And you know me, I can't sleep without blazing beats on stages for their ones gracefully. And I got a smile that they hate to see. Young black successful, though life gets stressful. Though life gets stressful, go and vibe out with whoever you next to.
Live until the morning, sleep until the noon.
Yeah.
You said that you want it, so I got it for
Got
you. Let's all get together and show them how we move. We move, we move.
3, 2,
Bringing
1,
summer to
drop.
you.
Oh, ready, let's go. 'Cause you know how we roll. Let's take it round the world and back again. Ready, let's go. 'Cause you know, like I know, we'll take it.
Welcome back to the ESL 1 Road to Rio. We're here for Winstrike against Nemiga, and that first half, Dean, was interesting to say the least. It's still anyone's game though heading into this second half, and Winstrike going for some fast-paced B play, but Nemiga have got a bit of a stack here. This is looking dangerous for Winstrike.
Ooh, extremely. I mean, right now, not really finding any openings. You've had 2 players gone, 2 players dinked down. They've been able to sure put out a small bit of damage in return, but nothing really too substantial. So any sort of quick B play they had in mind has definitely been slowed down at this point. Okay, small bit of damage again being connected by Lackey. He's the only one really who can afford to continue to take these aim duels as well. So the kind of hope is that they will make a couple mistakes, give them the openings now to go forward, because they're still determined on hitting this B bomb site, which has 4 men stacked towards it. They know boxes in that back corner. They notice 2 on the bomb site. They definitely know this is a stack at this point. But I think they're so committed, it really doesn't matter. They just have to hope they're going to be able to get these kills now. There's one from Lackey eventually. That makes things a good bit easier, because now he doesn't have to worry about the player out on the outside of the bomb site. Instead, they can all focus in towards one position, and that's where all these CTs are coming from. The bomb should be planted at least, but now it's on Lollipop. 1-on-1, okay. Actually gets both of the headshots. It was a 1-on-2 initially. I was going to say there wasn't much you could do about stopping the bomb plant, but comes in and quickly cleans up, gives up obviously a bit of extra money to the T side, so they could potentially force AKs off the back of it. But that was a pretty good recovery, all things considered there, because that round kind of did begin to crumble for Nemiga, so Lollipop coming through clutch.
Yeah, and guess what they're going to do after getting the bomb plant, Dean? They're going to go for the force buy. Winstrike love buying anytime they have the chance to, based on what we've seen so far on this map. So they've got the AK in the hands of Lackey. They've got a fair few Galils in there, as well as a scout on Elian. And this is a round where it definitely makes some sense to go for the force buy. If you win here, you can break your opponents. You can get things rolling. We'll see what Winstrike have up their sleeve, though. They don't have too many nades in this round, so they're going to have to rely more so on their individuals. And Hobbit has been spotted at mid there. JYO's got to be careful, though. A nade soars on in. Bit of damage done. And JYO continues to hang around in this position. Crizzen fully blinded. JYO should line this up, but he's struggling. Eventually the spray down connects though, and Box gets that flash assist.
Yeah, a tough player to lose early on, having Crizzen gone within just seconds of this round beginning, pretty much. That's exactly what Nemiga needed with these weaker weapons, and right now MDS, he's in a bit of a tough spot. If he tries to peek at all, he is likely screwed. Speedak gets taken down. Okay, actually waited for his teammate to find contact first, and they just presumed he was in sandbags. Was able to pop out and take one at least before going down. Not bad considering it was only the MP9, but it is now a 3-on-3, so still a pretty difficult spot for Nemiga to try and recover from. Trading it back out into the 2-on-2 again. Lollipop comes in when needed. The bomb at this point, I mean, it is on in the hands of Lackey, already creeped up towards the bomb site, so I doubt it's going to be long until that actually gets planted. I was going to say most likely the CT's just waiting to play together for the retake, but Jo instead being left alone. He's actually closed in the distance, doesn't have a kiss, so he is looking to try and stick the bomb apparently. Full 10 second, I highly doubt that was going to come in. Tried to hold a little bit of an off angle on it, but got spammed down real quick. Winstrike do manage to come out on top of that force buy for themselves. They do so with one player surviving. They keep over one of the Galils. And now we see Nemiga being the ones, obviously, who have to come in with a force buy of their own and not having that boost and loss bonus like Winstrike did going into their second round, not having the, obviously, bonus of getting the bomb plant down as well. You can see, obviously, Nemiga's weak buy is, force buy is a lot weaker. It's an MP9 and some pistols. That's it.
Yeah, not great for them. Smoke is not in a position where they're fully covered. Bondic spots one of the players, does a bit of damage. They are playing up close to this smoke. It is full rifles for Winstrike for what it's worth, so they're really trying to make sure they hold on to this next round win. It was a big round from Hobbit previously, but Bondic's been caught early into this one, and Hobbit's the man who has to back up his teammate. The AK comes into play. Hobbit's taken a bunch of damage there, though, and Box hangs around, but he doesn't get the kill he was looking for. Only a dink onto Lackey. And so Winstrike just about win these opening trades, but they've been softened up early into this round.
Yeah, quite a bit. I don't think the CTs, if they know exactly how much damage they've done, will be too upset. At that point, you can afford to take the gamble, stack up a bomb site together, and hope it's going to work out around for you, which is what they've gone for. They put 3 players over towards A. Sadly, gambles, they don't always pay off. We are seeing the rotation already coming back in over towards the B-bomb site there for the actual bomb to be planted. But they do catch that Galil off guard and manage to retrieve themselves another weapon. So, I mean, 2 Galils, a Deagle, all of them having Kevlar here. They have a few nades as well. If they get a kill quickly, they can definitely go for this. This is certainly winnable. Lollipop going to be the man to try and lead the way with this Deagle. There's a player up close on his right who's already tagged up low, so there's one to the body to finish him off. Crizzen, though, going to be able to find 2 on the Galil. And although he does eventually go down, he also contributed to that final kill against Jo. Again, a much closer round than either team than Winstrike would have been hoping for up against that force buy. But they do at least manage to come out on top of it. They don't let it trade back. They keep the one player alive, and of course now known that they likely are going to be against an eco. I hope Nemiga don't take the same approach to the CT side as Winstrike did, which is just force buy as much as we can.
Yeah, I don't think they'll get baited into that here with how bad their money is.
This is their map choice as well. Again, something we have to remember. I don't know if we fully noted on the entire map veto throughout this as of yet, but it is Vertigo here being the map choice at Nemiga. You then have Winstrike picking Dust 2, which I did mention before, and if needed, Nuke is the decider. So it's in terms of the actual veto, I would say probably as close as you could have got for these 3 teams. But I would say Nemiga probably want to be picking up their own map choice here, especially with Dust 2 coming up next. It can be a tough one. I mean, even as a pick, though, it can be a little bit risky because it's Dust 2 after all.
Yeah, very true. I think this entire series has got maps that I think should be close throughout. Even Nuke as the decider is one that both these teams are pretty willing to play. So I'm kind of happy with the maps we've got. I want to see how this one plays out, especially because both these teams are in very good recent form. On HLTV, they've won their last 5 games, both these teams, which is really fire form for both of them. So coming into this, CIS, a road to Rio. I'm sure both of them will be hoping to try and get through from this group. And we'll see if that will come through for Winstrike, who currently have the lead on their opponent's pick and a chance to extend it further here. They should be winning this round pretty comfortably.
You would hope so for their own sake. We never really got to see them building up any money on their CT side, so having again a pretty solid start here for themselves. They do definitely want to try and capitalize off the back of it this time. Because reminder, they did go up 4-0 back on the first half, and then end up dropping, I think it was 7 out of 8 rounds afterwards. Yeah, I have to quickly look at the scoreboard. But yeah, moving forward onto B, only one player here to defend, so this Mach 10 should be able to add a bit of money to the bank. Blackie is actually like, nah, I'll get him. I want that kill. The bomb's now going to go down anyway. That's the main thing. They're getting plenty of opportunities still, of course, if they want to try and hunt down these kills. I realize now Bondik is actually already in a position here where he's been holding off for that rotation in. Gets dropped low, gives the Mach 10 over to Hobbit now so that he can go out hunting for it. He didn't want to, of course, go down. He's already built up some money. It wouldn't be worthwhile if he dies afterwards. So allow him for Hobbit to do it instead. That final player is just hiding right now in towards the ladder. I think he's looking for potentially a knife. If Bondik comes in his direction, he could be in trouble. But nah, he's not living. There we go. Gets the right click, but that's it. He needed that tagged player to come in. Pretty much as expected, though, in that round. Not much in the actual investment for Nemiga.
Yeah, decent idea with the knife. Not meant to be, though. And here comes the investment from Nemiga. JYO's gone for a glass cannon AWP, which is definitely a bit of a risk on this map, especially when you know Winstrike are going to be probably sticking with some SMGs, which they have. They've stuck with 2 of their Mach 10s here, so kind of a bonus round for Winstrike, but they also have the 3 AKs in play, so it's definitely a round you can't afford to underestimate if you are Nemiga. And MDS sitting in the midst of the smoke gets flashed through. Good flashes from Nemiga to fight for the ramp control. And once MDS gets 1 kill, they're happy to back away, having gained the early edge.
Yeah, feeling pretty comfortable. Still having smokes down as well to delay the T's from being able to actually work their way back in to get the control themselves. Only now are they really going to start to go forward. And yeah, as you said, pretty passive right now from the CTs. That's a small issue, though, because obviously it gives a bit of room for the side of Winstrike to move forward, get control around Ali, set themselves up close if they want to execute on towards that bomb site, which they do still have the nades for. But obviously, the biggest issue for the T side being at this point, having actually not put presence anywhere else on the map, only having these players over towards ramp, they don't really know what's going on elsewhere. So they'd have to be cautious that maybe they could be getting flanked or whatever. So for the moment, they are taking their time, just throwing a smoke in, hoping that would maybe prompt a flanker if they were set up to go ahead and go through. And still having a bit of utility when they do actually want to follow up, but Elliot, as I say, that peeks in and ends up getting dropped there by Speedak. A couple players being damaged heavily towards this bomb site, but it's a 5-on-3 now, and time is beginning to run fairly low.
Those 2 smokes onto the site will definitely take away information from the CTs. But do they want to commit to it? Lackey's flashbang doesn't exactly go where he wanted it to. And with 20 seconds, I think the question of do they want to commit to it has been answered. They have to commit to it. Quick kill from Lackey on a player that wasn't looking his way, but those smokes are fading. This bomb plant seems unlikely as JYO snipes down 2, and Krisen has got 3 players against him. Quick kill onto the first, but Speedak was instantly ready for the refrag, and they will save over that AWP as Nemiga come away with the round win. Winstrike have still got plenty of money though, so they could afford to lose that round. They could afford to take the bonus buy out of that one, and now they'll have a proper full buy. Elian's going to have the AWP in his hands as well, so it's not the end of the world for Winstrike losing that round. Both teams are going to continue to buy into the next.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can see the buys when we have that overview cam on the default HUD. I don't have the custom one on, so I do have to turn it off. But yeah, I mean, oh, that nade. MDS, oh, I'm honestly surprised he survived right there. It looked like the spam was going to follow it up. I'm pretty sure the noise of the nade connecting was heard. And right now, actually, that flash was perfect to blind the player who's up close on mid. Box is still alive. His teammate helped him out to give a bit of assistance, but unfortunately not able to follow up on the extra damage that had been done. Taken down instead by the op of Elian. This is not a fantastic start to the gun rounds here themselves for Nemiga after having overall a bit of a rocky first half. Not as strong as maybe they would have wanted to have had. But as we can see, it is still somewhat recoverable with the 2-on-4. Taking a gamble, stacking up towards B, it's understandable. If you put 1 towards either bomb site to try and hold it down, then you probably get maybe another kill or 2 and the trades come in and then you lose the bomb site. Instead, putting both players on one side of the map position where they can work off of each other. And then obviously at that point, if the hit actually doesn't come in their direction, they can just go ahead and save and at least have something in the next round. But yeah, it looks like with the commitment getting prepared to be over towards that A bomb site, they aren't really going to be given the chance to do anything about it. Although a little bit of noise is being made, so in theory, if they wanted, they probably could shift themselves over to put themselves in position. But nah, not going to happen. So yeah, I mean, with that 12-9, we're going to see immediately once the guns came back into the hands, obviously, of Winstrike, they're able to bounce back. This is a big issue. What, 1900 comes in this next round? Not going to be enough really for them to buy too much up around what they have saved, except for maybe a couple pistols if they want to. I think most likely we do actually see them go ahead and take that eco. At least that would make the most sense.
Yeah, that's what we'd expect. I mean, first they have to save the guns, which I think they will be fine to do. Winstrike aren't hunting too aggressively right now. They were more focused on just making sure that there were no shenanigans on the A site at the end of the round. And they will be taking their 12th round win. Question is, will Nemiga get to save these two guns? And the answer is yes. They're not hunting too hard on the Winstrike side. They're more focusing on their own economy. So it is going to be a couple of guns carried over for Nemiga, but the money isn't really there to invest around them, you wouldn't think. Like you were suggesting, it's probably going to be the save call here. Still with the ability to get something done, though. Speedax got the AWP. That can definitely be a playmaking weapon on this map. MDS has also got the M4, so there's the ability to get something going. You'd expect some pistols to be bought alongside these weapons. However, this is starting to get into control now of Winstrike with a decent lead available to them. And as we get later and later into this game, Nemiga are going to start to feel the pressure, especially if Winstrike get this 13th round win here.
Ooh, but that is a important opening find right there. Speedak around that smoke over towards ramp. I'm not sure if you can actually see it itself. Again, I had my camera off. It's the only way I can see the buy in the beginning of the round. I'm presuming when you have like that third-person overview, you can still see the HUD and stuff over it. Unfortunately, I cannot. MDS though, waiting for this peak to come in. This is a bad spot just because of the fact that he should be traded. So unfortunately, with them already being down by a man and with him having one of the few rifles that Nemiga had in play, it's just not really good enough that he's only able to get one from there, unfortunately. Yeah, push coming in. Speedak, I mean, he's still here with the op, so he can definitely put up a fight. Himself another, nearly connect him through the smoke onto Bondic, who is for the moment blinded up. This round has gotten a lot closer than Winstrike would have hoped for, and yeah, looks like it probably will even go in their favor. I was saying how it wasn't enough from MDS, but apparently it may be with Speedak stepping up as soon as he's called for. It's all on to Kristen against Kevlarless opponents. Mostly he is still in an okay position, but that is perfect. The first player crosses to the boxes, gets ready to swing as the other pistol player jumps across, allowing then for just too much really for the AK to handle. I had 3 players peeking at once, and the 2 pistols were more so just trying to bait for Lollipop, or bait for Speedak rather. I've seen Lollipop has himself an op right now, so I said that for some reason. That's a big pickup as well. They actually have a second op now here on the CT side. Off the back of just winning out with those 2 saved weapons. As you had said, it was beginning to also get out of control. So that's a very important round for them to find. You see now, obviously, the last of the economy really being invested here for Winstrike. It's not perfect. They have decent enough investment so they can definitely make it work. But if they don't, at that point, we'd very likely see Nemiga tying it up at 12-12.
Definitely interested to see where these 2 AWPs play on the CT side. JYO currently positioned at mid. Speedak's gone back to A, but it's the B play that comes through early for Winstrike, and it gets completely denied. Lackey instantly taken out of this round, and Elian with the AWP was not really able to follow up. So Nemiga get a clean man advantage, don't even take any damage on their CT side, and another smoke gets deployed just to make sure they're 100% safe on the B side of the map. In fact, they're going to push through into the B stairs to take some control. Lollipop trades out for the AK. I think now he's going to fall back. So Hobbit won't really have the chance, or maybe he will. He spots a gap in the smoke. Lollipop gets a bit greedy, and with Elian landing a second shot, Winstrike have turned this round. They're now the ones who have got the man advantage.
Somehow, yeah, this is scary for Nemiga at this point. This really isn't a round that they can afford to lose. There's Speedak again stepping up as soon as he's needed. I was a little bit more focused on the player over towards B at that point because he was creeping in towards the bomb site. And I think with that, they will begin to fall back, especially knowing that the op of Speedak is over towards the A side of the map. The issue is the secondary op right now in the hands of JO is also posted up back towards B, playing a relatively passive angle, which is kind of what you want to see because ideally he finds 1 kill. Just gives them the advantage then to play for the retake. But we will have to wait and see, because even for now, they're really taking their time to get going. That's given the ability for the CTs to react, to rotate in a second player, to set themselves up now to try and hold this one down. There was a nades available. They do have a flash, which could help a little bit, a smoke as well. But just now waiting again for that contact really to be taken. Look at the time. There's 7 seconds. They need to start planting this bomb immediately. Oh, and they don't manage to make it over. There it is. We've seen back on the previous half that, of course, it ended up costing Nemiga some rounds when they weren't able to get the bomb down. This time, Winstrike, unfortunately, are the ones who are caught by old Father Time.
They didn't look too comfortable or confident pushing that B site there. They really seemed like they took as much time as they could before finally committing to it. And the nades that they had weren't really enough to cover them safely on toward the site. Nemiga had a couple of players with their eyes trained on the bomb site, and that meant that unless the fights were won by Winstrike, they were always going to be in trouble. They end up losing out, and now Elian with the saved AWP is the only real talking point for Winstrike in this round. The rest of the team have barely been able to invest in this round, and of course Elian saving means that, oh, this lineup, there's no way JYO pulls the trigger, there's no way, but he's now spotted the gun barrel, so he's got a chance, and Elian gets the kill. Nice bait and switch there from Winstrike, and Elian gets a second shot to land at mid. That's some guns recoverable for Winstrike, and Elian's got them into this round with both those frags.
Alrighty. I don't know how this is happening. Whenever you think a round should be going one way, the other team is able to somehow just snatch it back. And yeah, Hobby, he's actually going to step up with the op now that he has in his possession. Looking for more, okay. Maybe a little bit overzealous, but it's still a decent position. They're going to find this ramp aggression. MDS should have heard that jump. The issue is they all have their knives out apart from Elian. But he's low already at this point, so now being left in the one-on-one, trying to fake the steps as if he's running back towards B, but now making the knives definitely known. Speedak, he should be able to react pretty soon. Even then, though, taking the kind of long flank in through the ladder here so that he can get the actual flank through ramp itself. So that gives the ability for the bomb to be planted. Obviously, though, Elian's not going to know where he's coming from. So he's going to head and just kind of plant the default here. Might move his way back towards the ramp to try and play the time off of the bomb. Or may push a little bit more aggressive towards the CT spawn, which wouldn't be a bad idea. Just to get himself that info about where the CT is coming from. Where Speedak has actually positioned himself. Oh, yeah, you heard the step there. So now he's got the info.
Oof, that nade could have been deadly, but it's the USP, Alpha Speedak, that lands a single shot round the corner, and that's all he needs to win the 1v1. Oh, Elian was just hoping he could hold the angle, but he didn't realize a flying USP was going to come around the corner so quickly. Nice try from Elian in that round. He got them into it. They set him up really well to get those opening couple of kills. But even though he opened up the round, he can't finish the job. Still, though, a lot of damage done there by Winstrike, considering what they had in that round. And even the bomb plant is really nice for them to get a bit of extra cash, make sure they can continue with the full buys. And this game is going down to the wire right now. 12-12, all tied up. And Elian was looking for a pick over at B, but he's been denied by some early flames.
And the guys in Nemiga, it's massive that they've actually been able to pick up these last 3 rounds, just because, again, as I mentioned, this is their map choice. One issue, though, being is that a lot of these rounds have been extremely close, so the economy hasn't really built up at all for them. So there's still a chance now that Winstrike have come back onto the full buy to try and put a stop to that early on here, try and get themselves back into winning ways. We're seeing this aggressive B play here coming through from Nemiga. I don't think this is really something we've seen a lot from Winstrike. When they did get aggressive, I believe, only putting Lackey down on his own below the stairs, just so that they could leave him in that position to kind of cut off rotations and have early info once a push did come back in. But yeah, right now from Nemiga, instead trying to really restrict that control around the area and not really showing much presence on ramp. So a little bit of a switch up from what we've seen from them there in just in the early couple rounds of the half, rather. But yeah, smoke's now gone, so we will see Winstrike trying to see if there's anyone kind of sticking around. Is there any ability here for them to maybe try and find an open and perhaps even move forward with it? Because they do have most of their players in this area. And Lollipop right now. Oh, okay, I was going to say this boost coming up could spot him. Apparently he sees it first, gets the wall bang through the wood. Even follows up with a second kill before going down. And now there's still box on the bomb site to try and delay even further. Just hiding it in at the back and behind the metal. I'll be covering him off for quite a while. Ideally doesn't want to be peeking. Also has 2 teammates now in position to help him out. Jo did get blinded. So now there's an opportunity for them to start moving forward. Box needs to worry a little bit more. Pops out though at the perfect time in the lineup too. And again, it has come down to this one-on-one. More health for Elian at least to work with, but a P250 which could help Speedak as well. But look, it's been closed in 1 second. It's the no-scope, but it's a leg. That is so unfortunate.
Oh no. Elian thought he'd done enough. He landed the shot. He did everything right except get the kill. It's only the leg shot. And Elian survives. Well, doesn't survive. He only has $150.
Heartbreaking.
Oh no. Again, Winstrike really playing with the clock in these rounds as well. This time they did a bit better at committing to the B bomb site, but even still, they didn't leave themselves with too much time to get onto B, and you're seeing the ramifications of that in this round. They've only got the pistols to work with, and Winstrike are done waiting round. They're done with the slow rounds, but Speedak has been run over by these Tech 9s. The rifles have got to hold this down, and MDS, how is he struggling so much on this kill? He finally spots the player, finally gets the frag he was looking for, and Winstrike still in with a chance here with Elian landing that shot, but the bomb is firmly in the grasp of the CTs on the A site.
Well, this round is pretty much over. Unless Nemiga makes some serious mistakes to give these openings back to the up, which, who knows? We've already seen some crazy rounds coming in this one so far, so I can never really count it out. Is that Hobbit who's creeped up behind? Yeah, he's getting himself his flank gun, so really, Elian wants to be surviving for a moment. I think wants to try and find the kill before that pistol will be able to pounce, though. Otherwise, they are still just going to be holding for that flank, and yeah, that's exactly what has happened. Lollipop, indeed, was posted up, so he goes down. Elian now left alone, obviously being scoping and such for a little while, so his position definitely is known, and you'll see the CTs just sticking together. They don't really need to face him, though. Again, having the bomb here, ideally they just stick together, let Elian be the one who tries to push forward, and once he does finally fire off a shot, even if he gets one kill at that point, just make sure you have everyone else ready to swing in and kill him before you can get another one prepared. You don't want to be giving him any opportunities really to just get one-on-ones. They are beginning to, I believe, push around scaffolding, so yeah, catching him off guard. There we go, taken down. That's an op if they want it. Yeah, they will go ahead and retrieve it for themselves. 14-12, no bomb plant coming down, unfortunately, for the T side, but even without that, their buy, it is still pretty decent. I was going to say, would have helped out a small bit there, because there was one player a bit low on money, being Alien. He had, what, 3650 apparently, but he actually got dropped over the up, and then you seen him dropping an AK over the Lackey in return. But that does limit 2 players to not having helmets.
Yeah, that's the big sacrifice, I guess it's fair to say, for Winstrike in this round, because the rest of the team have got the rifles, they've got pretty good nades on the rest of the players. It's just those 2 who are lacking the helmets that might have some difficulties. Quick A ramp control taken by Winstrike. Normally when teams take this A ramp control very early into the round, they're pretty happy to just execute onto A and then force Nemiga to play retake, which is difficult sometimes to do, even for the best teams. So we'll see if that's the approach Winstrike take. They continue to just make their way up, this time through short. Hobbit is forced back by the Flames, but Winstrike have got some good ground early here, and they've got a couple of smokes available if they want to pull the trigger on the execute. As it stands, though, they are just taking their time, as Winstrike have loved to do throughout this T side.
Yeah, understandably. Not having as many nades, I think, as they'd really want to. Having another Molotov and such throwing around that alley area, make sure no one's just holding them close, would have been nice. But they are just going to go forward and not even using smokes to do so. Instead, willing to take the fights up against these CTs who are positioned on the bomb site, and apparently for a good reason, because they are beginning to win them out. Got themselves, oh, what the hell? Box is just in on a quick flank. I don't know how he's able to get himself there without being spotted. The nade then comes in as well, finishing off Kristen. That's the bomb down. Being delayed, Bondic is going to try and get it into position now. No more nades to deny it, but Jo had pushed forward, and there it is. I mean, it's being supported by Lollipop as well. Hobbit tried to help his team out, realizing that although he may have got the bomb plant, he likely wasn't going to survive, and he needed to help him out there at that point if they wanted any chance of winning the round. But no, cleaned up. The CTs at this point have reached 15. They've gone ahead and got themselves map point here on their own map, so that is definitely something that they needed, especially after having such a poor start. What, they've gotten now the last 6 rounds in a row, so at one point it definitely was looking good for Winstrike. But yeah, I mean, definitely just falling real flat here on their T side. We've seen the 3 rounds off the back of winning the force buy. We've seen them then trade back and get one more, but since then it's been all Nemiga.
Yeah, Winstrike have got into these rounds. They've made these rounds close, but again there, that the nade to deny the bomb plant makes all the difference, because that just buys the extra time, makes the smokes fade, makes the bomb plant much more difficult in the 2-on-2, and the aggression from Nemiga. They're looking to take this away from their opponents. Elian taking damage from the nade, down to 19 health, so he gets the worst of the trades at mid, but at least it's a 1-for-1 trade, and JYO almost gets a kill, but Hobbit is eventually going to be dealt with. MDS aggressing off the back of his teammate, might look for more here. Krizen is closing the distance, but a Molotov comes into play. MDS reclaims control of mid, and it's a 3v3 for Winstrike to work with.
Yeah, Nemiga are in a pretty comfortable position here with how this one has gone down. You see Winstrike just grouping up back towards the B bomb site, which again has been a bit of a struggle for them so far. Not because they're not finding openings, but normally because they're moving so slowly that there's always at least 3 CDs in position. This time, only the one immediately being Lollipop. He does have help quickly moving through from MDS, who threw the flash in, I believe, for him to take that initial peek. Did end up getting blinded up though by Bondik as well, so now MDS is holding on the other side of the smoke. No longer the case, Bondik above it. And with just Speedak being left with the op, at this point he probably does call for the save, because obviously going into this next round they're going to be giving up at 13th. They may not be able to buy. I honestly don't know whether they want to give over the 14th and then get the investment to close it out, or if they're going to go for the buy here in this next one. Either way, it's a very difficult spot to be in, only getting 1400. Yeah, I mean, I think they may be forced to take one eco. So this is an opportunity for Winstrike to really close in this distance once again and start making overtime a real probability.
And I think finally we see just a more convincing site push from Winstrike. They pushed with a bunch more conviction than we've seen in some of the earlier rounds, where it feels like they use the nades and they're not 100% sure whether they want to fully commit to the push. This time it looked like everyone was on the same page. They all knew they were just going to commit to the B-bomb site. The nades worked well for them, and then they were able to make the most of that opening kill they got by quickly moving on to B before the rotate could come against them. So finally Winstrike get some success on one of those site pushes and some good early trades to get them into that position as well. And it is going to be a force buy coming through for Nemiga. They fully invest into this round. So this is kind of their last stand in terms of having the full buy available, or at least as close to it as they're going to get with all the guns in their hands. The AWP in the hands of Speedak, but Lackey wins the fight over at B stairs. Box goes for more, but Lackey's ready for it. Winstrike pick apart the B defense, and Lackey's hungry for more. JYO could have got 2 kills there, but he only gets 1 for the time being. The smoke is clumsily placed onto the bomb site, and JYO gets away with a second kill. That's the numbers tied up, and the rotate is here. The fights continue. JYO's finally been dealt with, and MDS is on the big flank.
Yeah, but is he going to be able to get up close enough before they go ahead and actually realize that it is a possibility? And the answer is no. Only having the mass, ideally he wanted to try and creep up before that smoke dissipated, but ended up just getting peaked and going down. And that's why I think I would have preferred to see the eco in that position, because now they're coming into the 30th round of regulation with a very, very, very weak buy. I mean, an MP9 of FAMAS, a Deagle 5.7 Speedak going to come out with a pistol as well, I'd imagine. Actually goes for a P250. So this is not the investment that you want to be working with to try and actually close out your own map pick. It looks like Winstrike could be successful in pulling this back to overtime, and I'd at one point pretty much completely counted them out, if I'm being honest, after we had seen those 6 rounds in a row from the Nemiga. It seemed like they'd kind of gotten going here on their own map choice on the CT side, but they just had never built up the money, so it was so easy for Winstrike to put a stop to it. Taking their time in this round, knowing what they're up against, is a very limited investment. They won't know exactly what's available, but they should know that it's not going to be everything Nemiga would be hoping for.
Yeah, the lack of utility for Nemiga is going to be pretty costly as well, you've got to imagine, especially if we see one of these A plays come through. Normally teams like to try and maybe use their nades to deny the bomb plant, or to slow down the bomb plant at the very least, but Nemiga don't have that potential here. They don't have the possibility to use the nades to slow that down. MDS's position has currently gone uncleared. If there's a chance for him to get away with some kills here, maybe he could be the thorn in their backside. I think Winstrike have to be aware this is a possibility, though. Elian's moving up, but they still haven't cleared MDS's position. Surely he's not going to be able to get away with multiple kills, though. Oh, Elian, he's not cleared it. What the hell is happening? MDS is behind them. Free kill lined up, but he's not going to get more. Maybe if he had a rifle, he could have unloaded, but instead, Winstrike trade all the frags back, and this is going to overtime. Lollipop gets one inconsequential kill, but Winstrike do enough, and we are going to overtime, Dean.
Yeah, Nemiga are going to be feeling a little bit upset about that one, but I don't think they can be like, okay, this is over, because as I said, when they did end up losing that one round, the main issue was their economy was broken. They force bought into that round, then tried to get it closed out before it got too close, and just left themselves in that final round with so little. So I think now that, of course, the economy isn't going to be as big of an issue, that they should at least be able to buy for the first two rounds of the overtime, as long as they win them completely unrestricted. Obviously, going into the third round with 10k sometimes, especially if you're buying ops, you can be in a bit of a tough spot, but overall, not going to be something that they have to worry about anymore. There is a small technical issue, I believe, at the moment. A TeamSpeak lag. Lackey has a robo voice, is what Hooch said. Hobbit said we have problem with internet. He's going to check router. So yeah, it's apparently Lackey's internet is having a few issues and causing them to lag slightly.
Hopefully
We may have a couple of minutes then.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he said he's going to check the router, so that would imply to me that he's probably going to reboot it.
I mean, especially ahead of overtime. That's
yeah,
what
I wouldn't mind it. While you have the moment, get the reboot in, make sure you're not going to have any issues, because obviously it is a very important game. I would rather us have like a minute or two delay rather than a team playing with whatever sort of disadvantage, something just that they can't control themselves.
Well, based on what we saw in that first half, I think you're kind of pointing out that, yeah, both teams did win on their CT sides overall, but especially for Winstrike, they got off to that good start, and then that money problem came through for them. So heading into overtime, I guess you've got to think both teams, especially with the full money, will be expecting that the CT sides will come through strong, which I think most people weren't expecting on this new version of Vertigo, but it seems like the CTs are finding a surprising amount of success so far on this new Vertigo, and we are underway into overtime. Double AWP set up for Nemiga to start their CT side, while Winstrike have the one AWP in the hands of Elian, and some early aggression from Lollipop nets Nemiga the opening kill.
Really good find, and you see there was one player there looking for the trade. It was Elian who actually just hunted it down with the Tech 9. Able to take out Lollipop, who was up close, given a good return despite having actually, of course, as you said, lost the player very early in this round. And also not really allowing for Nemiga to control this A ramp position. You can see already getting aggressive up the ramp itself, not getting smoked off at the bottom, not having a position where their time has ran down for ages. My time was red at the top there, implying it was low with 1:13 left. That was really weird. I've never seen that bug.
The custom HUD is all good.
My default, it's back to normal now, which is weird.
Oh, okay.
Never noticed it before, so it was an interesting one for me. But good damage there. Actually, MDS ends up coming out in a pretty awkward spot where he himself has been dropped to half health initially and then naded as well. Losing Speedak now towards the bomb site makes things so difficult. He needs to try and re-aggress and see if he can get anything back for them to work with, but it's not going to be allowed. We've seen Winstrike now in this opening round of the overtime just absolutely roll over the A bomb site. And with the op in play there for Jo, I think he may have just called for the save already. He might work in for the ramp retake, to be fair. But saving the op could help out, especially if they were to lose this next round. Because as I mentioned, with 10k OT going into round number 3, sometimes you can be a little bit low on money, especially on the op players. So yeah, he is attempting to save. Maybe hunted. There's a player about to come around his corner. It's Hobbit, but gets a little bit of a warning there. Haven't actually spotted the weapon barrel.
Ooh, JYO moving into mid. There is a player on the other side here. Crisant is about to round this corner. Again, though, just one man there, so no chance for the trade, which is what you'd expect Winstrike would be wanting to do at this point. JYO is just getting to pick off a couple of players. Again, not too costly for Winstrike, because once you've won the one round in overtime, you're pretty safe on your economy. So they will continue to have a look to see if they can take JYO out, but he gets to save the AWP. That's something for Nemiga. But losing the early exchanges in that round means Winstrike are the ones who take the lead. And this time round, Nemiga decide they're going to have to play it safe on their money. They're not going to go for the double AWP setup, just the one AWP in the hands of Speedak ahead of the second round of overtime.
And this is one that Nemiga desperately need. I mean, their CT side looked pretty good during regulation up until the last few rounds, so if they can recover this and get the 2, then they're still in a decent spot. But if they were to lose this, they would struggle to try and get anything at all. He spots the side there of Lackey, I think. I don't know how low he is, I guess. Wasn't really too worthwhile for him. The shoot will eventually capitalize as Lackey peeks in. And with Jayo here to help as well, they've actually gone ahead and dropped the bomb now. The smoke down should at least let it be retrieved. Ellie, and you might want to get that right now before the smoke starts to fade away, just to be safe. Oh, that nade could do some damage as well. Nothing actually substantial at all. I thought it would have. Apparently not. It looked like it landed pretty much on the feet of Bondik. Yeah, the bomb has now been retrieved, but obviously they're in a 3-on-4 and they're very limited about what they can do on this B side of the map unless they go ahead and clear up close. So I don't know what exactly they're going to do with this now. They have one player pushed out mid. Okay, looks like they're still wanting to go back towards B. Thinking that there could be someone still aggressive deciding instead to try and split in, because obviously that would give Crizin a bit more room to work in behind then, knowing that the players perhaps were aggressive around ramp. We know no longer the case. Instead, they have gone ahead and shifted back to the bomb site. You know, I have one player already watching for this crossover through mid as well, so it is going to be up to Bondik and also Elian with the op to find these openings and let them go forward. And there we go. One quick kill being found. Lollipop still in the back corner of the bomb site, gets one. But that is it. It is going to be Crizin then who got the trade initially, but Speedak was also prepared, and now it's all on Bondik. 20 seconds to work with. He's hoping to be able to force it into the one-on-one before he goes for that bomb plant. And there it is. He gets Speedak, but doesn't expect MDS, who had been chilling just right below him, to hop up immediately for the trade.
Decent effort there from Winstrike in the 3v4. I like that Crizin tries to play through mid and splits into the B site, because that was the position that was left weak by Nemiga. They actually did leave mid fairly weak in this round, and that's something that you see sometimes from teams. They do leave mid fairly open, fairly vulnerable from that position. So the split into B could very well have worked. And then Bondik got left in a 1v2 that was at least winnable after he got that first kill, but unfortunately can't predict where the second man is coming from. And Nemiga, is this their first tactical timeout they're taking into this overtime? That's a weird time to be using your first timeout, but hey, whatever works for you. We'll see if Nemiga can get another round on the board here as they go back to their double AWP setup on the CT side. Full nades for them as well. Winning that round means they've basically got the full buy across the board, which is very nice for them. Heading into their last CT round of this first half of overtime, we're going to see some mid-play from Nemiga. 3 players stacked here suggests they might want to get aggressive.
Yeah, very possibly. I'm not really going to be seeing anyone, I don't think, testing around this area for the moment, though, from Winstrike. Instead, most of their players being, as you can see, focused over towards getting that ramp control, just leaving then one to hold for any B aggression because of the fact that they've seen it during the previous round. But yeah, with no one around mid, this has given a lot of room for Nemiga to work with. Box has gotten himself aggressive now. With that, they can shift their players back. They no longer have to stack up on this side of the map. Unfortunately, though, deciding to bring it over towards A with pretty much everyone. They've given up B completely, and at this point, as we can see, all those nades, all that presence that was being shown on ramp, it was just in an effort to pull those rotations away from B. And they're going to find it completely open. Oh, that flash does get them a little bit of info because it forces them to react. And look at this, as I had said, Box having pushed up on mid. He will at least have the chance for a quick flank. So it is going to come down to a 5-on-5 retake. The question is, how much can Box do? Because I doubt they expect it so quickly. The Tech 9, though, up close. He's not able to deal with a Bond that comes out on top of the fight. And now it's the 5-on-4. The health massively being in favor of Winstrike, as well as the man advantage having the bomb down. Nemiga are in a very, very difficult retake, and obviously they have to go for it.
Oh, that's a CT smoke that's landed and blocked them off. Oh no, that is awful. They're jumping around the sidelines, but Lackey and Elian both combine for some kills. Lackey up close gets another one, and it's MDS in the 1v2. Time's too far gone. He can't win this. There's no time. MDS gets rushed down at the end of the round, and Winstrike, with their free B bomb site execute, are gonna take the lead heading into the halftime here at overtime. Yeah, weird setup from Nemiga. I understand the mid-aggression, but then the just leaving the B site so open for so long. You'd have thought at some point one of the A players might just rotate away and might just try and go back to B. And even JYO, who was holding B from that new position, was playing so far back that he couldn't deny the bomb, he couldn't do anything. He just had to let the bomb be planted. And now heading into the flip side, where Nemiga start on their T side, we're going to see 5 AKs for the Nemiga squad, 1 AWP on the CT side for Elian, and a lot of early damage onto Bondik. Ooh, and Hobbit.
Yeah, the nades combining. We did see Box also being tagged up fairly heavily. Elian, okay, we swap over to him on mid, and we find that he has already gone ahead and got himself 2 quick kills. Was trapped out in the open pretty much, was able to make it work. Box just aggressing straight up A on his own, ends up going down as well. This round is falling apart real quick for Nemiga. I mean, barely even been able to get any opens initially. Got themselves a little bit of map control towards ramp and eventually did capitalize off it there, as you see in Speedak picking up 1. But he's now left alone. He needs an ace clutch. He doesn't have the bomb in his possession. The only real positive I'm looking at right now is the fact that he has a minute at least on the clock. And I mean, Bondik is tagged up. Elian not as healthy as he'd want to be either. The flash, it did blind them. Not following up from it though. 3 players still around his bomb site. Once he does peek, he's probably screwed. Could maybe catch Bondik who's low. Here we go, gets himself 1, taps away for the head of Grizzin. Now knows, of course, that the op is on towards the bomb site as well. And I believe may have heard a bit of utility there being tossed out by Lackey as he was rotating over. As I had mentioned it before, obviously, he didn't have the bomb this entire time, so he had to go back and get it either way. But now where does he bring it? Up through mid, potentially? In towards B, I would imagine, at that point.
Time's not exactly his friend here with 20 seconds. Speedak still walking. Lackey's on the B bomb site though, and 15 seconds left. Speedak has to clear mid. He has to clear the entirety of the B bomb site. The time is just against him. He can't keep walking here. There's 8 seconds left. He's running onto the B bomb site and he's in trouble. Lackey's got him. Lackey was already rotated over. And Speedak, despite those first couple of kills looking nice, he can't win the clutch. And it's Winstrike who have the chance to take away their opponent's map pick here. It is 2 map points for Winstrike on Nemiga's pick.
It looked like he seen him there on the bomb site as he was moving in, but obviously with so little time, he probably was more focused on just hoping that there was no one there so that he could get the bomb planted. A bit unfortunate, but yeah, as you said, Nemiga looking like they could drop their own map picker, and that was after at one point having themselves the 15-12 lead, if I'm remembering correctly, before Winstrike did, of course, make that comeback happen. So it's going to be a little bit upsetting for them with Dust 2 coming up next, the map that we definitely would favor Winstrike on. We said if we get to a map 3, that's when we would expect to be very competitive, and I don't think Dust 2 is going to be a washout or anything. But this was definitely one that Nemiga needed to pick up, and it's not boding well for them already. Box has gone down over towards the ramp side of things. Lackey being forced back a little bit by the Molotov, but not really out into the open. He's still able to just sit back, hold an angle, and wait for a peek to come in. So it is Nemiga still who have to go forward, not as of yet getting those openings for themselves. And when they do finally get one, that is all they're really limited to. Lackey was ready to return with 2 quick frags. Suddenly it's Speedak and Jo to try and save this round, save the map for Nemiga. I mean, what's the plan? 55 seconds. They just need to try and take this somewhere together and hope that they can manage to take the bomb site cleanly. With it being a 4-on-2, most likely, whatever bomb site they go towards, it's just a 2-player setup on it. 2-2 is kind of what you'd be expecting at this point. It's not currently the case. There is only 1 player towards A, so if they can get this kill cleanly, especially on towards Bondik, then they do have a chance to get the bomb planted and then play out the after plant. The issue is Bondik's probably not going to show himself from this position. They don't have a Molotov or anything really to flush him out. So they will have to instead just try and creep up and clear it. And I mean, with the time that's remaining, again becoming an issue, they may have to start running relatively soon. And that would, of course, give a little bit of info about Bondik, about when he could really play from this position. Oh, and he may just peek out now, finding Speedak. That's the bomb. The other player around Ali doesn't even have time to go retrieve it anymore. There's even a Molotov in Bondik's hands. If he just threw that on the bomb, it's over. But no, nice little angle to be held. Taps away the head of Jo, 19-16. As Winstrike do indeed come in and manage to steal away Vertigo from Nemiga, despite them having had a few map points